5.2, we're going to review how to factor and solve polynomials. So we are going to factor by grouping. We're going to factor higher degree polynomials, and then we're going to solve higher degree polynomials by factoring. Some of what we do in this will be a review of some stuff we did earlier in the year, and some of it may seem new to you, but regardless, factoring is a challenging topic, so we're going to review these things all together. So just a couple reminders when we start talking about factoring. We're always going to first and foremost look for our GCF, that greatest common factor. We can also use difference of squares. Remember, when we do that, we're looking for two terms, and they have to be perfect squares broken up by a subtraction sign that breaks down into a plus b, a minus b. Okay, and then when we talk about factoring trinomials, right, that's our three terms. We're going to look for two numbers that multiply to the third term and add to the middle term. Okay, so these first few are just review, and I am going to jump around a little bit if you're following the numbers in your packet just to show you a few of everything we're talking about. So make sure if you're following along, you're paying attention to what number I'm working on. Okay, so number one, we see x squared minus 25. We have two terms, which tells us we should be looking at difference of squares. We do have two perfect squares broken up by a subtraction sign, so that just breaks down to x plus 5, x minus 5. We're done. Okay, same with number 2. A little bit harder to recognize because we have that leading coefficient of 4 instead of 1. But 4 is still a perfect square, as is 9. So the square root of 4x squared would be 2x. Square root of 9 is 3, so 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3. Okay, so there's two examples of difference of squares. Now, number 3 has camouflaged itself a little bit, but remember we said we always need to start with GCF if possible. So if I look at that, I see both of those terms have a 5, so I'm going to factor out that 5 first, and then I'm left with x squared minus 1, which puts us right back into difference of squares. So I get 5 times x plus 1, x minus 1. Okay? Number 4, now we're in trinomials. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to the third term that can add to the middle term. So for 15, I would have 1 and 15 or 3 and 5. Okay, well 3 and 5 can certainly add to 8, so I think that's going to be our key there. So it's just going to be x plus 3, x plus 5. Okay, so here's where I'm going to skip around a little bit. We're going to jump to number 7. 7 and 8 are examples of factoring by grouping. So if you notice here, we have 4 terms instead of 2 or 3, like the first two examples. And so when we talk about factoring by grouping, we're going to look at these in two parts. So we're going to look at these first two terms, and what do they have in common? Well, I can take out an x squared from both, and that leaves me with x plus 1. I'm going to do the same thing with the second two. What do they have in common? I can take out a negative 5 from both, and that, oops, I'm sorry. This should be not x plus 1, x plus 3. And so then going back to the second pairing, if I take out a negative 5, what's left there is also x plus 3. And if you do this factoring by grouping right, you'll notice that what's in the parentheses should match. Okay, so then my two factors end up being x plus 3, what's in the parentheses, and x squared minus 5, what's outside of the parentheses. Okay, and that is my final answer. All right, so let's look at number 8. Again, we're going to focus on these first two terms. What's the GCF there? Again, it's x squared. That leaves me with x plus 4. Let's look at these two. The GCF would be 3. That leaves me with x plus 4. My parentheses match up, so that's a good sign. So I'm left with x plus 4 times x squared plus 3. Okay, and if possible, I would continue to factor that last term, but x squared minus 5 and x squared plus 3, we cannot factor those further. Okay, we're going to jump ahead to number 11. So when I look at 11, first thing I should notice is I have two terms, but it's not a difference of squares yet, because x to the third is not a perfect square. But we always need to start with that GCF. So if we look at that, we can take a 2x out of both, and then I'm left with x squared minus 25, which is a difference of squares. So that goes 2x, x plus 5, x minus 5. Okay, 13, we're going to look at, again, the first thing that we should notice is that all of these terms have an x value, so I can factor that out, that GCF, which leaves me with x to the third plus 3x squared minus x minus 3. And now this is something that I can factor by grouping. So these first two, I'm going to pull out an x squared. That leaves me with x plus 3. The second two, the only thing I can take out there is a minus 1, which leaves me with x plus 3, so that's good, those match. So I get x squared minus 1 and x plus 3. Don't forget I still have this x out front. Now from there, x squared minus 1 is a difference of squares. So I can take that one step even further and write x times x plus 1 times x minus 1 times x plus 3. That would be my final factored form. Okay, in day 2 in class, what we're going to talk about is finding the zeros. So all that means is after we factor, we're going to actually solve for when x equals 0. Okay, so I'm going to start by factoring. In this first one, my GCF is x, so I'm left with x squared plus 9x plus 20. Now I have a trinomial, so I'm looking for numbers that multiply to 20 that can add to 9x. So that would be 5 and 4. So now I'm just going to set each of these equal to 0, each factor, to solve. So x equals 0, that's 1. X equals negative 5, that's 2. X equals negative 4, that's 3. And the number of zeros that we find should match the highest degree of our function. Okay, number 16, I'm going to start with a GCF of 2x, and that leaves me with 4x squared minus 25. From there, 4x squared minus 25, I see that that is difference of squares. So I should get 2x plus 5 and 2x minus 5. And again, from there, I'm going to set each of those equal to 0. So x equals 0 is 1. X equals negative 5 over 2 is another. And x equals positive 5 over 2 is my third. Okay, 17 and 18, we see 4-term polynomials, so that should be a sign that we're going to factor by grouping. So look at the first two, I'm going to pull out an x squared, that leaves me with x plus 8. Second two, I'm going to pull out a minus 3, that leaves me with x plus 8. So my factors are x squared minus 3 and x plus 8. I cannot factor x squared minus 3 any further, so when I go to solve that, I set it equal to 0, and I think about now how we solved our square roots. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides, and then take the square root of both sides. Remember, when we take the square root, we end up with a plus or minus as our answer. So there's two values. And then x plus 8 equals 0 gives me x equals -8. So there's my third. Okay, similar option here. Let's look at grouping. So I'm going to pull out an x squared, leaves me with 2x plus 1. I'm going to pull out a 5, leaves me with 2x plus 1. So I get x squared plus 5 times 2x plus 1. Set both of those equal to 0. Let's start with 2x plus 1. That just leaves me with -1/2. And then x squared plus 5. Again, I can't factor that. It's not difference of squares. But if I'm solving this, what happens when I try and take the square root of a negative value? Okay, well, I can't get the square root of -5. That doesn't work. So I have two answers there that are not a solution, but I do have this as my answer there. Okay, so you can get answers that don't work. Let's look at 19 and 20. We're just going to fly through these examples. GCF is x squared. So I'm left with x squared plus 7x plus 12. That leaves me with multiples of 12 would be 3 and 4. So x plus 3, x plus 4. Again, we're just setting those all equal to 0 then, after we factor. So x equals 0, x equals -3, x equals -4. 20, we see 4 terms, so we're thinking grouping. So I have an x squared, that leaves me with x minus 2. Take out a 7 from the second 2, that leaves me with x minus 2. So I have x squared plus 7 times x minus 2. Set them each equal to 0. So I get x equals -2. And what I could be, square root of -7 doesn't work. So just x equals -2 there. Okay, and last two. GCF of this first one would be 3x squared. That leaves me with x squared minus 4. We should recognize that as a difference of squares. So that's x plus 2 and x minus 2. Set each of those equal to 0. So I get x equals 0, x equals -2, x equals +2. Last one, 4 terms. We're thinking grouping. First group, x squared. That leaves me with x plus 5. Second group, the GCF is 1. So I get x squared plus 1 times x plus 5. Set each factor to 0. Can't have that square root of -1. So I get x equals -5 as my answer. Okay, so this stuff just takes practice and time to learn. So we're going to continue with this in class, but that is 5.2.